heart of Savannah, where history and legend intertwine like the branches of ancient trees, there exists a world unseen by the ordinary eye. Here, the past refuses to stay buried, and the night is alive with secrets. Welcome to a city where the veil between the living and the dead is as thin as the morning fog, where creatures of legend walk among us, hidden in plain sight, and ancient pacts still hold sway over the living and the supernatural alike. From the restless spirits that roam the old plantations to the mythical beings lurking in the shadows of the city's winding alleys, Savannah is a place where every street corner hides a tale, and every nightfall brings a new chapter in a story as old as the city itself. This is the story of Savannah's secrets, where the supernatural is not just a whisper in the wind, but a pulse that beats through the very soul of this haunted city. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Welcome to Mythic Savannah.
chickens where I'm at. I had to get rid of them.
There we go. Alrighty, so we are back. We are live once again for Mythic Savannah, our World of Darkness mixed genre game. One day before. Okay, so no.
Oh, I know. XP.
Yep, no, no XP today. Bow, bow, bow. There we go. And let's see. So we need somebody to give us a recap of last game's events.
I took notes last time, so I can try to do the recap this time.
Cool. Thank you.
Basically, we picked up at the Mathers residence, and we're there because we're basically investigating a child disappearance, and we think that potentially she might have been taken to another, not realm, but another, area. So when we got there, basically we're investigating. Hold on, let me look through the notes here. I don't want to read it verbatim, but
Oh yeah, you don't have to. Just give summaries.
so basically we're all at the girl's house. They are doing the parents are doing something in another area. We basically let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to look through here. So I guess Cade believes that we're dealing with something that might have the ability to travel between worlds. When we went through and everybody kind of investigated, the girls' room was basically radiating some cold. And we thought that there might have been a portal there or something, or some sort of tear in that veil there, and that she was taken into the Shadowlands. During everybody's sort of perusing around the house, Joe actually spotted something in a vent, which had some basically blue eyes, slits, tongue, and basically it was a kimono dragon. After she went up there and took off the vent and looked at it, but as soon as she went in there, she actually got thrown into a portal, which was into the Shadowlands. Because she disappeared so abruptly, everyone was like, basically, what's going on? And Petra basically followed afterwards after she poked the vent with a broom handle. After a while, everybody eventually popped in, and basically we are in the Shadowlands. We're in the negative version of where we're currently at. Basically after that, there was pollen and stuff and fungus and stuff that was in the air, and basically we're covering our faces, and we essentially we got out of the house by the kimono dragon, who we basically followed throughout because they were kind of leading through a trail. Joe and I think Petra were the only ones Joe and Cade were the only ones that were able to really see the pollen and the fungus that was being sort of puffed out into the air. So we kind of led a path outwards into the area. Basically we were in a dilapidated shopping area, and then eventually we ended up in a toy store. Let's see. We found a bunch of toys. A lot of them appear to be from the 80s. It's kind of like a toy torture scene. Is the best way to describe it. And there was a section where there was a boy that was strung up. Charlotte was able to release him, and she healed him. Joe and Charles heard something else creeping around, so we continued. We were approached by 5 creatures with horns. They were the Straggle. We weren't seeing Joe and Charlotte, so we just kind of continued while the others stayed back to intercept the group. They didn't see Petra at all. Fighting ensued. They were successful. Joe and Charlotte, they ventured further back near the restrooms, and we did actually end up finding the little girl Ellie, who we were originally on the hunt for. Joe was able to carry out back to the store while people were still fighting, and basically the end of it was that we were able to rescue Ellie and escape, as well as everybody else. But now we're in a position where we have the girl, and we're in the house, I think, still. I'm not sure. And we're basically on our way to leave.
No, I
actually,
think
everybody got through the portal.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Komodo dragon led us to a lake that told us that like this was essentially our way out.
Oh, okay, yeah, that.
No worries.
Yeah.
So, it has been about 2 days since the events of last game. How did you guys decide you wanted to handle the children and trying to cover that portion of it up.
Yeah, I don't know if we didn't really
Well,
talk about it per
I
se,
think
but
I think that they could actually get away with using their detective because they got permission from the father to investigate around their home, and they could come up with a story.
Well, that's
Well,
They,
that's
they
why I'm
that's
asking. It's not the
yeah.
yeah,
detective thing
what's
that
the story?
I'm
Yeah.
worried about.
yeah.
Like, where did we tell her we found her? And I mean, do we tell her we found her in an abandoned house and they're gonna ask where and all that?
So
I
that's
liked
where having some sort of influence or contact with the cops could come into play. If we could just have them figured out, that'd be great. But if we don't have that pull, then yeah, we've got
I
to make
have one
something up.
influence in police, and that's because of my connections with well, being a mechanic, so
Okay.
and towing and things of that nature. So could it be uh could it be that maybe we found her when we were called to take a tow?
Is there woods around their home?
Yeah.
Could we
So maybe
just
she
say
was
that
found.
we found her in the woods while we were doing our investigation?
Well, remember there was 2 children, and both seem to
Well, we
have.
would have found
One
them
was a
both
boy,
there.
Yeah.
one was a girl. Yeah. I mean, that would make a lot of sense. Though I think that they would probably want to. You know what? I'll leave it up to them to try to investigate where they wandered from. As long as they were found wandering, I don't know if they'll ask too many questions.
As far as that investigation, I'm not sure the cops would try that hard since they apparently said in that article that there seemed to be forced entry, and that's what happened. But when we checked, there was no forced
Mm-hmm.
entry, so they just made that up and lied to the media. They had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, Dale's onto something with that. You guys already know that they clearly couldn't identify what is going on, and so they kind of fabricated
Made
a
up.
little bit to kind of make some of it make sense. So all you guys really need to do is come up with a semi-plausible story, and it'll probably slide. I will tell you this: if you claim you found him in the forest, that's not going to fly. The police would have looked there first,
Right. Yeah,
including
especially if it's
everybody in
close
the
by.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's go with the abandoned house or warehouse.
But they're going to want to know which one.
Where and yeah.
And how did the children get into and out of it?
Well, they would have been taken there because they were kidnapped.
Yeah.
Police can figure out how they got a hold of the children because they already lied about.
Or
You
Can
know.
we say
Or-
that we found them wandering?
we are presuming that we give them the children directly. We could take the children to a place that's abandoned that nobody knows about, but we do, and then we put in an anonymous call. We heard some crying. Sounds like kids coming from this weird spot. This abandoned spot. You should go take a look. And then they go and they find the kids.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I hope you have a burner phone or something to hide that call trail.
Well, that wouldn't be
Then,
hard to get hold of.
how do you want to explain your involvement? Because you guys did
Yeah.
show up, you guys did talk to the guy and talk him. Well,
That's true.
sort of mentally talk him into letting you guys in, sort of thing. So you guys are on the hook for that.
Well, we could give him what we found. I mean, we're just Ghostbusters.
We could make that call not anonymously and say that people we're working with gave us a tip. They gave it to us under the pretense that we don't reveal their identity or something like that, and then that's the only change to that plan. So then we do take the credit. The police go to the spot, find them, bring them to the hospital because they're still covered in that goo or whatever.
Yeah, because we could call in the tip. That way, we're not anywhere near the warehouse or the house.
Right.
But we would have to do it in such a way where they can't find any evidence that one of us was there. So not all of us can go at once, because that
It
makes it. I would only send a
probably-
couple of people.
It should probably be the team that didn't speak with the wife and get escorted out. Just a suggestion.
Yeah.
It'd be funny
point.
if it was.
Yeah.
You
So,
thought we couldn't do it, but we did. Neener.
so we got an anonymous source told us that the kids would be at this abandoned house, and
Who's taking the kids there?
Also, do you want me to do a brain wipe?
Yes,
Do we?
because them
Just-
telling them that
just the bad
we
Stuff.
I mean, they wouldn't know we were fighting the bad things.
Yeah, they would just remember being taken because they were unconscious the
Yeah.
entire time.
I mean,
right?
we
they
don't
didn't see
know
us.
that.
Look. Let's be real here. That like we have two little kids who were kidnapped and taken to some weird alternate reality, according to them. Do you really think that the police are going to believe that they were taken by these creatures and things of that nature?
Well, we're obviously not
I-
telling them that.
I'm not.
No, but I mean, that's what
thinking-
I'm saying. Like, I mean, we don't need to brainwipe these kids because do you really think they're going to believe them in the first
Ah.
place?
There you
Listen,
go.
that's not why I want to brainwipe them. I don't want them to have to live with this trauma.
The
for
trauma,
rest
yeah.
of their life.
Yes, it's
Well,
it's a kindness.
You know what? Sometimes trauma makes you stronger.
And sometimes it makes you unbearable. These children have gone through some things. We should not let them have to live with this.
Unbearable.
Yes,
You're
unfortunately.
an asshole.
I have to when I have to be. Here's
Okay.
Trauma is nothing to sneeze at, okay? I'm just saying that maybe they don't want to talk about it, and that's why they're not going to say anything.
And I believe there's a difference between you were bullied in school and you were kidnapped from your home by demons and then tortured on a rack in a demonic toy store.
Oh,
Like a toy.
I'm aware. Or buried underground.
Is that what you suffered?
Yes.
Okay. Would you prefer to have those awful memories, or would you prefer to,
You know what? It helped make me a different person,
Okay.
and it helped me to understand and believe that things can be better to an extent. So I don't think that you should necessarily take away everything. I get that they're kids, but they got to learn from experiences.
I'm not even
What
sure.
exactly would they
But
learn?
sometimes these traumatic things can make them worse. Not everybody's going to have the same outcome as you, Joe.
Listen, so young.
Yeah, I
Yes.
Oh, I'm very aware.
normally I would not care, but I have to agree with, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have to believe with Monsieur and Mademoiselle.
You know, burying memories like that is only going to come out later in life.
Not
But
if
if you decide that's what you want to do, then I will not step in your way.
I would
if you
rather
can
them.
remove them permanently, then they won't resurface.
Good luck. with
I would
that.
at least rather them deal with it later on when they have more of an understanding of the world, rather than force them to be burdened with this pain at the age of how old is this girl? 6.
I think
It is-
she's 6. Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
very
they're both
young.
6. Yeah.
No, I
They
don't
can't-
disagree.
They won't understand
Yeah.
what the kind of trauma or how their brain isn't developed enough.
And the worst part is no one will believe them. Even if they do tell them what they've gone through, everyone will just assume they're lying, and that can cause even further damage.
Well,
It's-
then we're damned if we do and damned if we don't.
I don't believe we're damned if we do. I think we should give these children this kindness. We've already rescued them. Let us be kind to them.
All in favor of wiping their minds of the traumatic memory. Raise your hand.
So just to be clear, before you guys voted.
Okay.
This is taking place at your guys' new office because there is a spot that you can tuck them away
Cool.
and just have
That
them
makes
laying
sense.
in a bed right now.
Cool.
I think that's great. Yeah.
All right.
What-
And it seems
Charles,
overwhelming.
You don't think that we should take away the memories?
You know what? Majority rules. It doesn't matter what I think.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't because it will not change the outcome.
Well, she's given her opinion,
That's,
and if we're being democratic, everyone gets their opinion. Not everyone gets their opinion followed, and that's fine.
that's perfectly fine.
All right. Seems good, but at the same time, it would be great to know what exactly happened to them, why they were chosen. If we can get a read on their past, especially of the boy, because we know almost nothing about him.
He
Then I
was
think that's a question for Cass, not for me.
he was another abducted kid. I remember seeing an article on him also. He's gonna go ahead and try and pull up that article that he saw, Jerome, on
Yeah.
on the boy, and let circulate that to the group and let everybody see
I
that.
think
So,
I
do
think
you still have the
after
details I sent to you in the instant message?
I do.
Because you may
I'm
want to
getting-
relay that to him. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Jerome, do you want me to send you the spell she's gonna try and cast on the kids?
Yes, please.
Okay.
and
There.
I also think that Cassandra would, after Abby saying, that's a job for Cassandra, I think Cassandra, the light bulb would go off that maybe she could get a reading off of the kids to see why they were chosen and stuff. So I think that she would just walk away from the group and into the room that they're resting and place her hands on both of them.
Okay.
Okay. I checked the instant message, and there's not much here other than recalling a child fitting his description.
Yeah, because we still don't know much of these stragglers' habits. Were these children chosen at random? Is it just mere proximity to this to the Deadlands, these portals? Like, if we investigate the boys' home, will we find a similar place, or were they chosen? I do think we should learn what we can from this experience, but yes, at the same time, we must bring them back to their families. That is still important.
Okay.
Very-
So I guess I'll be the one to call the police then.
I mean, this could actually look good for you too. I mean, you call in a tip and
But you're calling on behalf of Night Watch
Right.
Occult Solutions.
Jerome, what's my difficulty?
Your difficulty is an 8.
Okay.
And we're going to say we found them through an anonymous source at this location at an abandoned house, and we brought them here to the office. You can come pick them up.
I'm also going to use a willpower.
Perhaps we should.
Go ahead.
Perhaps we should
Again.
learn.
Okay.
Perhaps we should learn first, because if we discover that the boy was picked from, like, it might behoove us to circulate the idea that there is definitely, like, kidnappers, and if there's a modus operandi of how the child was abducted, we could possibly save future children by just warning their parents of, there is keep your children away from the woods, if that's specifically where he was taken.
5.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get to you in a second. So,
that's good.
You guys are... So, by the way, this is before the 2-day time lapse, just to let you guys know, so we're clear.
Sure.
Okay, so to kind of speed this up so we can get on to the rest of the game, you guys, sounds like you have kind of a plan. You're just waiting to hear what Cass finds out. Cassandra, you, it's hard to make out a whole lot of what they understood. The part of the problem you're running into is when you're attempting to divine, it also depends upon, it's kind of like I don't want to say it's a mental for the individual, like you're reading their mind, but in a sense you are kind of perceiving the world as they perceive it as well, when you're not on drugs. Remember, drugs are bad, okay?
Yes, kids. Remember, drugs are bad.
But
Don't follow Cassandra.
So when you divine kind of what you're looking for, you end up getting what appears to, it's almost like what you're envisioning is kind of like a demented Remember the old game Candy Cane?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of something like that. Like the children were in some sort of what they believed to be a fun environment at some point, or maybe doing something they thought was fun. So it clearly didn't start off dark or anything, but then it like the sky would get like overcast or something, and like everything would just kind of roll in like the Jabberwocky or something coming through Alice in Wonderland. Which
Right.
if you ever saw that version of it, every time the Jabberwocky was nearby, like the world would react,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
everybody would, the creatures and whatnot would run. So it kind of played out like that. And of course, each child were basically alone, trying to find a place to hide of some form. When kind of a hyper, like a hyper devilish looking version of the Straggle would appear and take them away. And in taking them away, it was always it's always envisioned again, like the environment would eventually turn into like a very creepy looking version of Candy Cane, or Chutes and Ladders or something to that extent. And when they would abscond with them, they always went through some sort of like bolt hole that didn't look like it was really there or big enough for anybody to fit. So in a way, kind of another Alice in Wonderland kind of throwback, like, if they got near a gopher hole or something, it looked like they would be there. There's no way they would fit, but all of a sudden, and they would fit,
Right.
which checks because that's how you guys watched. I think it was Joe going to the air vent at first. So it's kind of like that. So knowing what you know now, it looks like they're using. If you had to guess based on your role, they may be using some those tears to get back and forth somehow.
Okay. And then would she be able to tell if there was something unique about these kids, why they were chosen?
The only unique feature is that they, because you're only dealing with the two right now, is that they're of impressionable youth.
Okay. That
So
works.
they're not like early teens or something. They're still, they're still 6 years old.
They're
So
innocent.
so they're so she doesn't see any of their like torture or anything like that.
No, no. The
Okay.
only part of the vision you really get is like what it was
When they
like
were
for them
taken.
when they were absconded. They were taken. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, she would check to make sure both of them were still asleep, and then she would
They
slip.
are,
Yeah.
and probably a good thing because you're not dressed friendly enough to greet them
Right.
when they
I
do
could.
wake.
Yeah. So she would slip back into the room where the others were.
Sure.
She'll just wait till the conversation dies down before she says something.
Mhm. Um,
So then it seems like we'll wait for Cassandra to do her reading. It seems like what she's doing right now, if I know her, and then we
Mhm.
enable the plan where we're hands off, but we still manage to find them through our contact.
there is one more thing that I would like to know, but it could definitely be asked once we hear from Cassandra.
All right.
I was able to get a little bit off of the children. Um, it was like I was watching their abduction, and the only thing that I could see as far as to why they were chosen is because they are impressionable at this age. So I don't think I don't think um I mean, it's hard to tell because I only have the two to compare. If we had, if there were others, if the same thing was coming, but if I had to guess, it was just because they were there. I don't think that they were specifically um, zeroed out than any of the others in the neighborhood. I just think that they just got unlucky.
Could you
But
tell how the Stragolay managed to get them in the first place?
yes, as we know, there are tears within the reality, and they are coming through those. And what I seen with them both was that um, as a child, I read Alice in Wonderland. Is anybody familiar with that story?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so you know how Alice was able to do things that someone normally wouldn't be able to, like going down the rabbit hole in, or Joe going through the vent in the house. That is how they were taken. But the children is like, it's like they were trying to hide from them, but the creatures found them anyway and then took them to the holes, to the
Okay.
tears. Um, I couldn't get any impressions on the torture, so I don't know how much aware they were. But as far as them being taken, um, it would be almost like them having a bad dream.
Then
Okay.
my suggestion would be asking them how, if they would like their bad dream taken away.
Um, what I
I
would like to. Oh,
No, go ahead. I was gonna say I don't think that I should be the one in there with them when they wake up, because I think that I
I
could
will go
scare
in
them.
there. I gave them first aid. I would like to check on them.
well, before you do that, because they're still currently sleeping, this does uh, this does beg my question that I was holding back: is how do we keep this from happening again? If unfortunately, if the proximity to the portal is what got these children taken in the first place, we did not defeat all the stragglers. Even if we reunite these children with their families, there's no telling that they will not just be taken again. We must find a way to close these portals if it's
Well,
even
I
possible.
Yes,
Right.
that's what.
believe that we were speaking with a sorcerer who was going to help us
Yes,
in
we have to close.
tracking these straggly, and
Oh,
that should solve our problem.
yes, the fellow
So
with his nails.
Right.
so
Mhm.
yes, so that's what I was going to say. To ensure that these kids are not taken again, we have to close the portals, and to
And
ensure
uh,
that others, we would have to look for more tears in the reality.
For them specifically, is there anybody here who can give them protection from the Stragolay somehow? Because we can't just close the they're going to go back to their homes,
I
likely.
I
That's
mean,
where the
I
terrors are.
I could invite them to stay at my home.
Yeah,
how is
which is I think.
I mean, I don't have any sorcery, but I do have some voodoo
Rachel, you're muted.
charms that I could
Thank you.
prepare for
Is
protection.
there any way to track these tears that are happening? Maybe we can find some sort of correlation as to where these are happening versus, I don't know, other stuff.
I think that with me and Mademoiselle Petra in Charlotte, we could probably figure out something, and
Yeah.
we can even ask this sorcerer that we're
To
I
where
going.
the boy was taken from? I mean, I'm surely they weren't taken from the same house, right? I mean,
No,
we know
no,
the vent
no,
was up
no.
there and that was a portal or something, but
Yeah,
Rachel, out of
no.
character, you have Auspex, correct?
yes.
If you
Oh,
have,
wait, I don't. Hold on.
okay,
I think I have potence and
okay,
awe presence,
gotcha.
not aspects,
Because
unfortunately.
Auspex Auspex would be your answer to that. You're like, I need
yeah,
to see
no, I
magic
can't.
stuff. I need some Auspex.
Yeah,
Nope.
some aspects.
Don't worry, Char's working on something.
So
I can learn
think,
dot one if someone knows how to teach it.
I think that
Lillian does.
I think that between us, we could probably figure out some way to see the tears.
Do we know who the boy is that we found? Like you said, Charles, that there was an article or something from this missing boy.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yes.
they give a name?
I'm going to assume that out of character. I'm going to assume.
I thought I gave you the name.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm assuming that he has a name
Okay.
and an
Yes,
article and everything.
He was not a nameless child that you just found, but had an article on it that
I will need his name if I
Jimmy
am
Doe.
to.
We probably
change
want to
his
see,
dream.
if maybe their house where he was taken, or not even the house, maybe just the area, has another tear similar.
Yeah, we can, like, out of character, we can work like we have the name because we do. We just need to get it, but
Yeah.
We
Because
can we can investigate the other house.
I think it's worth at least tracking and keeping an eye on it and just being aware of where it happened, because if more of these places are popping up, maybe there's a track or there's a pattern or something that would help us.
Charles,
do you think that? Yes, go ahead.
In the report, was it the same as this house? They're claiming there was a forced entry.
I'm going to assume yes.
It didn't actually say.
It didn't say.
If we could find out if what the police had reported, because then perhaps the other team B, since team A failed, the team B could talk to the parents and convince them to let us investigate their home as well. And I do believe that we should tell the parents, because we got their permission to investigate. I think we should be somewhat honest with them and tell them that we did find some activity, and that because if Charlotte is able to come up with some way to protect them with one of her amulets or something to keep this with the children.
I think it's going to depend because, unfortunately, most regular people are probably not going to accept that our EMF readings and our ghost sensors were picking up that they should not stay in their home. Perhaps that's something we need to weave into our greater story of how these children were reported, is that when we came here, we found a suspicious vehicle. And after reporting it, we ended up following it, or however it ends up leading to the children. That way, we can warn the parents and say that when we arrived, there was somebody watching for them. Your home is not safe. You should not go back there, at least not until all of this stuff has been cleared.
And then they could stay at Charlotte's.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because otherwise, we were essentially at their. Because even when we did speak to the father, he was hesitant to give us his full cooperation, but he was hopeful we might find something. And I do not think that the EMF readings, unfortunately, as correct as they were, will hold up much to convince these families not to go back to their properties.
I was thinking about something as far as like protection for the kids. Do you think other members of the supernatural community could kind of keep an eye on them, like maybe the shifters or maybe the vampires? I'm not sure what the correct term is.
I feel like you're asking for some favors there that you don't necessarily want to repay.
No,
Okay.
Just being real with you there.
Okay.
but I think that if we can give them some kind of
Can't get something for
protection,
nothing.
so
Certainly not from the
if
vampires.
if Charlotte can come up with some kind of protection amulet or warding amulet, I think that would be sufficient for the children right now.
Yeah, something to keep them safe. I can try to work out something as well on my end, but it takes time.
It takes a lot of time to create
Yes.
such an amulet.
Well, you will have the time because you will have the families there staying until the investigations are done by the police.
I
Are
don't
you going to
think
do
you
that for
understand.
every single kid that gets taken? That's
I
a lot
know.
of amulets or whatever you're going to try to create.
What we can do, because we're assuming that this is what the parents would want, and ultimately it's going to be what they want to do. So we can at least let them know generally that through our investigation, we managed to follow some clues that led us to the kids, and that's how we found them. And we don't have to explain really to them because it's not as if they're going to believe us. They barely believed us in the first place, but
I
we did find their kid. So they'll at least probably listen to any simple advice we'd be willing to give them, since we did succeed.
And how
It
do
is-
the psychics get away with all this?
Do they?
Well, they say, oh, I had a vision of so and so being here, and they work with the police. I mean, I have seen some of the.
Isn't that usually like a pre-established like sort of relationship to take on a
I don't know.
clairvoyant or psychic as
It,
as they seem to think?
those things are they really are kind of up to the spiritual preferences of the people that are involved. Somebody who's not very who's skeptical of psychics and ghosts and angels and all of that stuff will be very hard pressed to believe us if we try to tell them that, oh well, our ghost readings discovered that there is a portal in this person's home.
Well, that's why we don't tell them the specifics. We're just very vague about it. And we found
Well,
them.
also I
if
think
if
we're
if they press upon who gave the tips, I would just tell them that it was one of your psychic contacts, and they prefer not to be mentioned.
I think we are extremely overthinking this.
Yes.
Yes, I think you
How
need to
dare
go
you?
in and attend to the children, and let's get them to where we're going to get them, and let the
We
police pick them up.
we already have a plan to find the straggler with Dylan Lowe, which I have a meeting with him.
Right.
We are going to invite the families over to my estate so that they are protected. And we've already discussed how we're going to care for the police and what story we're going to give them.
So
Shall we go?
just put it in action.
Let's
Charlie,
do it.
go tend to the children.
Okay, I'm gonna go make that call then.
Excellent.
So
Charles.
Charles is leaving an anonymous tip. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Well, kind of. He's gonna say, this is Charles from Night Watch Occult Solutions.
Oh, and that you
Uh,
got the tip that you
yeah,
know where the kids are at.
Mhm.
Okay.
and they're here at the office if you guys want to pick them up. Click.
Or we're going to
Are
bring
they
them to
or are they
us.
going to be are you directing them there to the office to pick them up directly, or are you taking them to Charlotte's Airbnb?
You know what? Let's take them to the Airbnb because then the family can reunite there. It's a lot easier. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
they're
I
at
just want to make sure I got
Charlotte's.
that
Yeah.
straight. Okay, so
Yeah.
Charlotte, you have some rolls to make if you were going to Jedi mind trick them.
Okay.
I can assist, maybe.
No, you can't.
How
Okay.
can you assist?
I
He's
don't
a
know.
Jedi.
I would like to know.
Did Charles suddenly
famous.
get like Zen no mind or something? And
He's
like
a Jedi.
he's all
He's really Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, dokie. And their willpower is 3, correct?
correct. They are kids.
Mm-hmm. 4 successes.
Okay, that's on the first one. You have to roll twice.
I know. Five successes.
Okay.
Nice.
Technically 6 because my 10s explode.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you woke them up just briefly, enough to let them know ultimately that they're being moved to someplace more comfortable.
Also, I do ask them if they want me to take the bad dream away.
Well, they won't entirely know what that means on the level that you're meaning it, so they're both just going to say yes. Because no one wants to remember that, not as a kid. So,
Yeah.
So you do that. Everybody gathers your things or whatever.
And
Charles
Char
makes
is very, very, very tired after this.
yes, and Charles, makes his call, with the tip off from Night Watch, Occult Investigations, or whatever the name was, the full name. I have to go back and look that up.
Night Watch Occult Solutions.
There we go.
NOS for short.
Exactly.
Cool. Even better. Okay, so in this time jump here, obviously we can work out some details as to what happened with the parents, and obviously the police aren't going to matter. They're not going to care terribly much. You guys do manage to give them some fake location that you picked them up, or you got the tip off at. You brought them back here to the Airbnb, which is familiar ground for you guys, or however you end up spinning it. But ultimately, you keep it just vague enough to let them know that somebody tipped you off that something was happening here. Unfortunately, you don't have a whole lot of leads on who did it, but it was clear that whoever was behind it was here, and you found these two kids. So there is a news article, obviously, that goes out the next day. This is in between that in that time jump. That talks about the two children being found. It does serve as a little bit of a bump for not only Charles. Oh, speaking of which, Charles, since you were the one that made that call, are you still here, or you just go away and you've got your camera and microphone off? Yes, he's away. Okay.
I'm gonna say the latter.
Like away. Okay. So whoever wants to yell at him and let him know he gains +1 honor, +1 glory for the news article. I'm not
Charles.
I'm not going to go back and reiterate it.
Right.
If you guys want to throw it up in the chat or something, go ahead. Anyways, but yeah, so his name kind of gets tied to that, which also kind of gives a little bit of a push to the movie that's being finalized in town as well. So it gets a little PR for that, and nobody's quite sure how that all links back to this weird investigations group, but it's a good thing, and nobody really cares. Two kids were found.
I mean, do we get kind of a bump in our own popularity since our
Do you have glory and honor?
No, the Night Watch. I mean, do they?
Does the Night Watch have glory and honor?
Oh,
They should.
But we do have PR though.
yeah.
But it was a +1 to honor and glory, right?
Correct.
Okay. In the notes.
So also in the news, the police safety groups put out like notices like keeping a closer eye on your kids, that sort of thing, like not obviously issuing Amber Alerts per se, but putting it back out in the in public eye, like for the time being, be a little bit safer, watch what's going on in your neighborhoods, report any suspicious activity, neighborhood watch kind of stuff, that sort of thing. So that was good.
That was very responsible of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't have a whole lot to go off of, so that seemed like the best thing to help.
What happened?
Yep. You got +1 honor, +1 glory for your reporting of the
Oh wow!
found
Yeah.
children.
And it boosted the prestige of the movie too.
Whoa!
Which is what we
Movie
I kind of
+10.
expected. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, you earned a VHS tape movie +10. So he's all.
Most powerful VHS tape.
There's no such thing as straight to DVD anymore. It's just straight to VHS.
So he starts
Nobody can watch
he
it.
starts going through his actions just like, oh, be kind, rewind. Smack. Oh,
Yeah.
So
flaming
He
VHS
gets a
tape
cool
coming from nowhere.
rewinder that looks like a sports car.
yeah.
Yes,
I had
yes.
one of those.
So the movie gains renown, I guess. I'm not
It,
sure.
it gains a little bit of a bump. It doesn't have glory and honor like you do.
Okay.
Okay, so with that being said, all right. So who is going with Charlotte on this trip to Charleston?
Also, Charlotte is leaving extra early in case, the curse hits.
Gotcha.
So you know.
Uh,
I think that Cassandra was
going?
going to go because Cassandra was going to try again to get a thing
reading.
on the nails that she failed.
Right.
And
So
yeah,
so
like
Cassandra's
pissed her off.
That's not Joe.
so okay. So who is going to Charleston, South Carolina?
I think it's just a day trip, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So
I-
not Joe.
Okay. So
Uh,
not Joe.
Charles can go.
Charles
will
can go. Who else is going?
Sly will go.
Sly will go.
If you don't have any need of me, then perhaps I'll stay here and keep an eye on the base.
That's fair. Let us know if anything happens while we're gone.
Of course.
Okay. And Cassandra?
No, Cassandra's going because while
Okay.
they're traveling, she's going to try and get a reading on the nails again.
Okay.
Oh, Shar has a gift for you. More incense for you
Oh,
as
cool.
a thank you.
Okay.
This one
Plug.
smells of buttermilk.
Buttermilk.
Because you wouldn't accept any money, so she pillaged her store.
That works. Okay, so so we're gonna assume you guys are all driving in the same vehicle. Then just for it's only 4 people.
Sure.
Easier that way.
Let me know when you want me to roll.
What?
Let me know when you want me to
Oh yeah,
roll.
I'll get to that. So
Okay.
go ahead and roll right now then.
Oh, Jerome, is this the very next day, like after all the stuff is taken care of, they're going on this trip?
So
Okay.
this is day 2. So this is start of the
And-
new game.
Okay.
Because the dice hated me so much last time, I am going to use a willpower.
Oh my goodness.
Did you use
they
the
were
willpower
awful.
before? So
Yeah, I
in
know. I'm
mind-
keeping count.
Okay.
I'm so glad. Look at that. 1 success.
Alrighty.
Wow.
They just don't want you to.
And how are
know.
you?
The nails do not want to
How
be
are you
found.
attempting to divine?
Since they're in the car, I think she would just use her tarot cards. She would just
For cards? Okay.
Yeah, flip through them. Yeah. She can't really toss the bones in the car.
Sure. Okay. So you
They would wiggle around.
yeah, they would never like
It's
quite
changing.
settle.
It would be like an Aragon, you know how all the bones just go.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I getting outdated lotto numbers? This doesn't help. So okay, so you are just you have like a little like piece of cardboard or something and just laying out your your card, a flat surface you can do this on.
Mm-hmm.
Whose car are you guys going in, by the way?
We'll go in Sly's car.
And Sly
Okay.
has a what?
He's got like a 4-door sedan, so it should fit.
Okay.
Yeah, Shara will be in the
So
back
then
seat.
we'll say you've got like one of the trays in the attached to the back
Yep.
seat. It's kind of a plush
Okay.
sedan.
There you go. Nice.
Not top of the
Not-
line, but it has some amenities that not all cars have.
Not as plush as Shar's.
Not as plush as Sharks. Right. So
It's
so
cool,
as you
though.
were laying it down, you start getting this vision of occultic symbols, which isn't new to you. You've dealt in those quite a bit, although it's not your bag. You commune with the spirits due to with voodoo and make and consult with them and so on and so forth, and bargain for the information you get. This is more the symbolisms that you're looking is more Western Hermetic. So it's more of the while it looks old, it's more the modern touches. So things that you might find at like Masonic lodges, that sort of symbolism. Like I said, that's essentially hermetic.
I think she would draw the symbols that she's seen, like on that piece of cardboard.
Sure, okay. So, well, no, because you have a tray at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, she would want to draw on something.
Our hands are a notebook.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So
Perfect.
she'll start drawing the symbols down because even though she doesn't really recognize them, she figures either maybe Petra or Cade or one of the others might.
Not a bad idea. Okay. So,
Yep.
But as you're doing that, you're kind of seeing, some of these symbols. You're not entirely sure what it all means. It's almost like looking at letters from the alphabet just being thrown at you. It's like it doesn't necessarily mean it spells anything. You're just looking at the letters.
So does she kind of feel like there's almost like a block because she's been trying to get readings? So she doesn't feel like
you got information last time, as far as you could tell.
Failed. Yeah. Okay.
So you're looking at this one, and you're not entirely sure what it all means. But so it's like one of those things, like almost as if mentally, as you're looking at it, you almost see mentally like one of the symbols kind of opening like a door. It's not shaped like one, but like it kind of opens up, or starting to open up. And there's a light coming from it, and then immediately you're kicked out of it for some reason. And when that happens, Charlotte, as you hand her the note tablet, like just something to to write on, the window in the back seat falls down. It goes shunk, and the wind from the car driving, it throws all of her tarot cards right out the window.
Wow.
I'll get you new ones.
Yeah, I'll have to show you what they look like because they're pretty unique.
What did you do to my window?
And like it was impressive. Like for a moment, Sly, like you heard a shunk, and then you hear as all the cards like flew out, like just
seeing this.
And
in the
then you would hear Cassandra scream as she's trying to grab her cards
over Char's lap.
Yeah.
Char just grabs the pinnacle of her nose and just like, I'll pay for the expense.
So is that what's been happening to you, Char, these past several days?
Lots of different things. It's never the same. Never the same.
Shoot. Well, okay. Good to know. Very good to know.
I had a flat tire, a peach tree die, the window, broke a shoe. All of the above.
Ooh.
Well, did you manage to get anything from your reading there, Cass?
My cards.
Right.
They're gone. I can't get. They went out the.
Okay. Right.
My cards.
Beyond the cards, though, did you get any reading before the cards flew away?
Yeah. I did.
And anything helpful?
I don't know.
All right.
She was drawing symbols. Did the pad go out the window too, or just the cards?
That was okay.
Yep.
I saw a.
Like she managed to grab the paper she was working on, so that like perforated off, but like right out with the rest of them.
Okay. I saw symbols. That I don't recognize. And one of them was right before my cards went out the window. One of the symbols, was it open or closed? I think
The vision of the door was opening.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. One of these symbols was like it was like opening the door, and that's when my gods went out the window.
But you don't know what the symbol was. It's just a symbol.
I drew them down as they appeared.
Oh.
So she'll hand the paper. Actually, she's going to hold onto it very tightly and let Charlotte see them because she doesn't want them to go out the window.
Can I
Do these look? They
can I roll to see if I recognize any of them,
Yeah.
Jerome?
Intelligence and occult, difficulty 6.
Okay.
they're definitely occult symbols. I don't recognize them.
My tens explode, so is
Good
that
job. That's
4?
5.
5.
That's 5, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Woohoo.
Without having the completed set, it's hard to say what specifically it is, but based on what you're hearing and the ward or the ward, I should say, the symbol that she drew, it's actually it looks like it probably goes to a ward of binding.
Oh. I recognize this. It looks like it may go to a ward of binding.
But what would that have to do with the nails?
Isn't that what they do? You're supposed to puncture a sorcerer's hands with them and it binds them. Keeps them from using their powers, right?
Yes. Essentially,
So
I believe.
so do we? So that's what he is wanting to do with the nails. But you were wanting me to see what this had to do with Charlotte.
Possibly, or just to see if the nails are going to be used, like who they're going to be used on. If we had
Oh.
that degree of knowledge,
No, the
then we'd know.
mystics didn't show me that. They're being very stubborn.
All right.
I'm sorry, it might be me.
No, it could just be that they're being stubborn and they're not going to divulge what I want. It does happen sometimes. Like a man in bed, it does happen sometimes.
What do you mean by that?
You never experienced a man before?
So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the radio, everybody. So who wants to listen to some radio?
Sure. So
So
Sly turns on the radio and you hear this, I kissed a girl and I like it. The taste of her
Your
cherry
luck is-
chapstick.
oh, God, change the channel.
I wish I was there. Dang. That'd be so funny.
I
He's
love
like,
my
man,
character.
I missed my road trip. That would have been fun.
I really do love this character.
So Shar just doesn't understand what you mean by the sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes you're in with a man and he can't.
Oh,
wouldn't know.
never have experienced that. Nope.
So
Brr, brr, brr,
mystics-
brr. Sorry.
the mystics can be kind of like that.
Well, at least it's something you got to read there. So it seems like they are going to be used if we take that a little further for binding, maybe. You said it was well, there's not a lot to go on, I suppose. Just be careful, Shar, when you're talking to him. Try not to divulge too much information, but, well, get what you can.
Sly, if you will pull over, I could try to get a reading on Charlotte. I can't use my cards obviously because they went out the window, but I do have my bones with me.
Let's
just
wait and
just
see
as
if we
yeah, I was
get
gonna say,
there
just as an
on
out of character
time
FYI, it
first.
takes about 2 hours to go from Savannah to Charleston.
Let's get
Okay.
there first. We don't want to miss traffic, and I don't know if my presence in this vehicle will, cause more car issues. So let's get there and then do a reading if we have time.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good.
But, and right then, as Sly was trying to just find something that wasn't, suggestive or whatnot,
Yeah.
you end up hearing, "You've been thunderstruck." Dun, 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 thunderstruck.
Oh no!
AC/DC comes on, so
Yeah.
a good
There
salve
we go.
for any awkward moment.
Look out the window. Yeah.
And so as you
Any
guys
clouds?
are about 2/3 of the 2/3 of the way there, and finally coming into Charleston proper. Obviously, the land looks very similar. Buildings, of course, look a little bit different, but they're all that old, or many of them, I should say, are old colonial style. Uh, Older buildings from that era. And as you're coming up, you come to a stoplight at this point. You're like just coming off the freeway and came to a stoplight, and you're just waiting for it to turn. And Sly, there's a knock at your window.
So he turns to look at the knock.
Okay, so there's a man. He's got like a beat up white shirt that's a little too big for him, but also because it was like pulled. It's got a little like some black stains on it. Maybe he works. He's got blue overalls that are pretty beat up, and he's holding a card. And you hear him yell from your window. He says, "I don't know what you've been trying to do, but I don't want no drive-by voodoo." And he just kind of sticks that card like right in your window, and it storms off.
Sorry about. Yeah. Okay. Well, people around here are very nice and accepting.
Which card was it?
That was the tower.
Okay. When he put it on the window, was it upright or reverted?
It was upright.
No, I seriously want to know. Okay, upright. Okay.
Yeah.
But when you guys get to, and this is a real place, so when you get to the square, this is off of, if you want to Google the area, it's near Hotel Bennett, or it's actually the spot that she's meeting this individual is in the Hotel Bennett. It's a bar called Fiat Lux, and it is right off of a historic park that kind of takes up part of the city block. Like the whole area is very old world colonial style, nice thick buildings, some little touch-ups here and there, like the obviously the Hotel Bennett was remodeled at some point, so it doesn't have that full old flair, but it's kind of a old meets modern sort of thing. There's plenty of places for you guys to sit and wait while Charlotte goes. So we've got
Probably fixes herself up from having the wind blow in her hair.
Sure.
The entire ride. Yeah.
Yeah. No. You guys were able to pull the window up. Like for some reason it dropped all the way, but then when you like tested it to see what happened, like it's all
okay. Because I'm just imagining like wind everywhere and just like
Also,
have that wind deafness.
yeah.
Right.
Before Charlotte goes in, Cassandra is going to grab her and pull her aside. She's going to tell her what the card that was given to them back means.
Okay.
Charlotte, I don't want to cause you more distress, but I feel like I should tell you. I don't think it is a coincidence that this is the card that was returned on the tower. It represents destruction and upheaval. It could mean that there is danger or a unexpected change. So I want you to just be extra careful with this man because I don't know if the cards are telling me it's him or it's you with your curse.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you, Cassandra.
Yes, of course. And she's going to hand her the card.
Okay.
She's going to kind of just put the card in a pocket of hers. Of
In her
Cassandra's.
purse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you slide out then to go to the meeting location?
Yeah, after she, touches up, she
Sure.
will go.
Okay. Everyone in the car, other than Charlotte, give me a perception and investigations check.
Okay.
As you guys are getting a lay of the land.
Difficulty 5 or 6 rather.
Difficulty 6. Yeah, difficulty 5.
You know what? I'll take 5. Thank you.
No, difficulty 6.
Dang. You said awareness or alertness?
I said investigation.
Investigation.
Oh,
Perception and
investigation.
investigation.
Boy, I'm just like way off. I gotta get me some investigation. Oh, I don't have any.
That was like Jim Carrey trying to remember the name on the suitcase.
Samsonite. I was way off.
And do I have a reroll?
3 successes.
That would probably be no.
I
4
don't know.
successes.
No, wait, no. I have one. Okay. I'm gonna use it because I really don't want to botch at this point. Oh, 3 successes.
Okay, what did everybody get?
3.
4.
Okay. Yeah, so this particular area is what they consider like historic downtown. So there's a good bit of foot traffic. There's some families in the park that are currently enjoying the weather. It's spread out on the nice green grass. There are obviously small shops nearby that people passing by walk through to go in and out of and whatnot. And as you guys are kind of getting just like checking out, like watching to see, okay, did anybody around here look suspicious? Anybody, like is a homeless person just like watching people too intently? Or do you see anybody who's, like maybe trying to pickpocket? Just anything, signs of, of alertness as you guys are watching Charlotte, like walk, across the street through the little bit of parking that's right there in front of the hotel. You can see she's walking with a little bit of a limp.
Oh, the broken shoe she was talking about.
Oh no, sir, her shoes are fine.
Oh, the shoes look fine. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Does she seem to be limping to you?
A little bit. It might be something due to the curse. Maybe she got hurt or something.
Well, I did tell her that she needs to be extra careful because of that card. I wish that it would have been a different card. He could have given us the Fool.
Could have given death.
Actually, that is not really a bad card.
Oh, really? Interesting. Well,
Okay.
let's hope it turns out.
So, Charlotte, as you go walking in, this hotel is one of the top-notch ones here in Charlotte, South Carolina. There are clearly marked signs, however, that it actually has more than one place to eat and or drink. Fiat Lux, however, happens to be on the top. So you can see the signs telling you which elevator to take to go up to the top. Again, it is a real place, so you can, of course, Google images of it. It's actually very swanky and nice.
Char approves.
So when you come walking in after stepping off the elevator, you end up seeing a man sitting near the windows, or sitting near the windows at Fiat Lux, which also doubles up. There's a balcony there too that you can, on warmer days, you can drink outside in the day or night air. His tall frame angled slightly towards the view, though his attention drifted elsewhere. There was a precision to the way he carried himself, his shoulders back, spine straight, as though posture alone kept the world in order. His dark hair, touched with silver at his temples, was neatly combed, though a few stray hairs though a few stray curls had slipped free, catching the light from the bar. A trimmed goatee framed his mouth, both streaked with the same silver, and his expression carried a quiet focus of someone used to working in silence, where even the smallest adjustments matter. His fingers tapped idly against the marble table, their movements measured and deliberate, habit formed through years of careful work. He wore a dark tailored coat left open over a fitted turtleneck, the fine wool blending into the soft candlelight of the bar. His trousers were equally understated, well cut, dark, with the kind of clean lines that suggested quiet wealth without ostentation. There was an old world elegance to him, a sense that he belonged somewhere older than the rooftop bar where conversations hum and glasses rang faintly with every toast. Though nothing about him was overtly attention-grabbing, something in the precisions of his movement, the way that he turned a ring around his finger with absent-minded care, or glanced at the antique clock on the wall with the faintest smile, suggest a man whose life was ruled by time, both in passage and in preservation.
Well, Shar does what was instructed, and she was instructed to sit somewhere else, I believe, and have him come to her. If assuming, I'm pretty sure that was okay. Pretty sure that's what was suggested. So she goes and she finds a seat, I think, without a lot of people around, or she just goes to the maitre d, if there
Okay.
is a maitre d, and then requests a seat on the balcony away from near him. Well, she doesn't say near him, but requests like the balcony so she can see him.
Sure. Okay. So he guides you over to the balcony, a spot for two, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It is daytime, so you have a fantastic view from where you're at of Charleston, and a bit of the view of the nearby bay. So it is a spot that would probably double up as a great dating location were you so inclined, or just a swell place to meet somebody if you were looking for a quick drink. As you sit down, and I don't think that that was something that Brittany had indicated.
Okay.
So you sit down and order a drink, presumably.
Non-alcoholic. She wants to be full head.
Sure, that'll work. All that drive-by voodooing and whatnot.
Yeah, she's a little like nervous with the tower card and everything.
Sure. Okay. Why don't you roll? Why don't you roll your perception and awareness at this point?
Okay. It's difficulty 6.
Still difficulty 6, yes.
Perception and awareness. Let's see. 3. Okay. Four successes.
Nice. Okay. So you're just looking around occasionally, looking back at him, but obviously trying to just scan to see, so it doesn't look super obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And as you eventually catch his eye just in passing, he has a glass of his own, and he just kind of raises it to you.
She'll raise hers.
Okay.
And like greeting and I wonder if she should like call him over with a finger. I don't know.
Well, remember, you are meeting him, not the other way around.
Oh, okay. Well, since he raised his glass to me, I will then come over and say hi.
Okay. So you approach, and he just motions to the chair as you approach. And he says, "You don't look familiar."
I wouldn't. But you are familiar with a friend of mine, Petra.
Oh yeah, I do happen to know her. I did some work on a watch for her at one point in time. I suppose you're the one that they sent in her stead.
That is correct. I am Charlotte. And she'll reach across the table and for him to shake her hand.
Okay, so he shook her hand in return and took a drink, and he says, "You'll have to forgive my impertinence, but just what exactly do you know? And keep in mind our surroundings."
I know that she garnered a business transaction. And she has payment for you. And also, we wished to garner your services for the fee that was predetermined.
All right. So you see him kind of reach over, and he touches what appears to be a timepiece. It's one of those nice ones, like a pocket watch, looking thing, with like some nice filigree around it. And he just kind of gives it a little bit of a twist.
Compliments it.
Okay, sure. He kind of gives the top a little bit of a twist, and the environment all around you suddenly gets blurry. Not super blurry, but like that, like a Gaussian blur. Like you can still see people moving around, and whatnot. But like the only thing that's in focus is you, him, and the table.
What did you just do?
He looks at it and he says, "I call it between the ticks."
Between time.
He says, "This is to ensure privacy. Your friend Petra didn't quite understand how to speak in code, and Big Brother's out there always listening."
Absolutely, I know. I appreciate the discretion. We can talk freely here?
You can now.
Okay. We currently are hunting some demons called Straggly.
Yeah, she brought that up to me at one point.
We just discovered some children that were taken by them. And they happen to do something like you just did. They can create tears in reality, like Alice in Wonderland, and take children right out of their homes. We need a way to hunt the Straggly or these tears with a device of some kind.
So he kind of smiles. He says, "Well, it sounds like you have only part of your information correct. But first, let me conclude the business transaction with Miss Petra. Do you happen to have?"
Absolutely, and she'll pull out the package that Petra gave her.
Okay.
And hand it over.
Which is the nails and the personal thing that she provides. So
it was just the personal ones.
Well, no, it was the nail. I just went back and looked at it. She said she's provided the nails, the 12, and then she specified like if there was any sort of hang up that you had some extras to toss in. But then she also had a personal thing attached to it.
Yeah, for the glasses.
Correct. So he looks at that, and then he briefly kind of lifts up the the personal package, and looks in, and he says, "Oh, so she was able to she was able to get it after all. You'll have to give her my thanks."
I will. She
And then
also
he
requested
pulls
that
out. Yeah, he ends up pulling out what appears it's a drawstring bag, but not like the big ones, not like Crown Royal or a dice bag or whatnot, but it's a little bit smaller. And it's actually wrapped up in a clean but kind of old, tattered cloth. And he says, "These here were for that particular payment. You do make sure to give those to Miss Petra."
Of course.
And speaking of which, since you're trying to figure out a way to track them, what's in that particular package will help with that.
Excellent. I'm sure it would be mutually beneficial to not have demons running around.
Well, I'm actually here up in I'm actually up here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm not exactly in your
That's
particular
fair.
terror hub.
Fair. Um, you are able to help us with this particular problem, though?
Yes, well, part of the problem we're facing here, as I told Petra specifically, I did not want to meet any of the rest of you because I don't want to be known. But we have vampire population who keeps generously throwing around my name every so often because I did some work for them, and well, they keep sending people my way, and I'm not exactly happy about that. But be that as it may, I suppose I could be coerced into assisting. There would be a fine attached to that, thanks to Petra's sharing my name.
And what would you ask?
It depends on what it is that you're needing assistance with.
Well, we need help finding the stragglers, some way to track them.
Well, I already told you the glasses are going to help with that. Are you needing another pair?
No, we need.
You're not there.
Ding, 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 ding.
Could you explain to me how the glasses will help?
They allow you to see auras and detect on anything that gives that off, such as magic and sometimes spirits.
I see. Do you have anything that will track demons?
Well, demons do tend to give off, if they are vile enough, they do tend to give off a certain glow. And yes, these would detect that.
I see. Hold on, I'm going to refer to my notes.
Okay.
Petra said she wasn't sure what device you were making for our straggler problem. I'm assuming the glasses that she requested sort of all encompasses our deal then? The deal she made, excuse me?
Well, the yes, but not all encompassing. There was she was looking for something. She was looking for something specific to assist with your Straggle issue. But first, you need to know that they can't travel between worlds. They don't have that capability. Not
Okay,
by
what can
themselves.
I see? So someone is helping them.
More like they're taking advantage of the thinning veil between our world and the others.
Um, from the apocalypse supposedly happening then.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that, as I am naturally a skeptic.
Likewise, there's been many times of apocalypse during my lifetime. Um, how can or how would you suggest we track, besides the glasses, these straggly and prevent it from happening again?
Well, you're asking two separate questions. If you're going to track, you're going to need something like these glasses. If you're
Okay.
looking to prevent, well, I can assist partly with the prevention. One of my specialties is, of course, summoning, binding, and warding.
I feel like. Tell me more. That sounds promising.
And he ends up producing a he ends up producing or giving you actually looks like an old world papyrus scroll the way it was prepared.
Oh.
And he says this here is a ward specifically attuned to your Strackley issue, so it should help you uh, deal with any of those particular tears. Obviously, won't help with new ones, but any of them that you are aware of,
So
provided you
this
have those who can translate this and cast it. But be warned, you can only translate this the one time.
I see. Um this would close the tears that we're aware of
That is correct, to them, anyways.
to them. But nothing else, just the straggly. I
Correct.
see. And we can only translate this once. What language is it written in?
He kind of looks around and says, "Well, English."
Oh, she opens it. I'm like, oh, okay.
He's like, I do happen to put a copyright protection into my particular pieces, so once you translate that down, it will burn up.
I see. But we will be able to use it once it's been translated.
So, however many times you wish to scribe that down, it's all entirely up to you. As
All
are any
right.
flaws that go into the spell because you may not have proper handwriting. But that's neither here nor there.
So, scribing is a particular thing and needs to be accurate. Okay.
Correct. But if you're looking for something for a little extra oomph, I don't know. Have you ever heard of hex rounds?
Would Shar have heard of hex rounds?
Why don't you give me an occult or intelligence and occult difficulty 8?
Okay. Four successes because my 10s explode.
Okay. You actually have. They're not super common, but essentially what they are is they're like they're more of a modern convention, obviously, but they're literally rounds that people have individually created like a spiritual hex for that will work on spirits.
Oh. I have heard of them. How will that help with the word of binding?
Well, it won't help with the ward of binding. It will help dispatch them to whatever netherworld that they were spawned from.
Oh, send them back to whence they came.
Correct.
Hmm. Would Shar know how to, no, not how to make them, but know where to get them, or would she need to ask?
You probably need to
Well,
ask because it was
okay.
definitely, it's more of a modern thing. It was definitely not something you really researched.
Okay. That is not something I am very familiar with in creation process. Where would I find one or know how to create such a thing?
Well, I could sell you some, or for a higher price, I could essentially transcribe something down for a one-time use that would allow you to read it, and hopefully by the time you've memorized it and go to cast it, it does just burn up on you. But it
How
depends on what
about
it is you're offering.
what would be your asking price?
Well, you'll have to forgive me. I don't exactly understand who or what it is that I'm speaking to. I do have a reasonable understanding of who and what Petra is, as baffling as that may be.
Mhm. I'm a magic user, an immortal one.
Well, I picked up parts of that, but you don't seem to be nothing like Miss Petra.
I'm not, no. Are you asking what I am?
I figure we'd skip the foreplay and get to that, if you don't mind.
Can you promise your discretion?
You're speaking to the individual who wants to be spoken to in code. I think it precludes all all saying.
Okay. Um, in meaning of a riddle, I come from the sands of time, where the river Nile flows freely.
Well, bless your soul. You happen to be one of them mummy types.
Yes,
Huh.
I am.
Well, now this is a first. I only heard rumor of your kind. I ain't never had the opportunity to meet one, so
There are not
that is interesting.
there are not many of us.
So, how exactly did you get into said mummy club? It isn't something you have to like show a card at every time you go into like Costco or something, is it?
No. I'm What is he asking? I'm sorry.
He's just asking how you became what you are.
um, that is not something I can discuss, I'm afraid.
Hmm.
No, it's been lost to the sands of time for the most part. No one can be reborn again. We don't know how to do it.
Well, that's a bummer. I have to think about
Yes.
that one then. So, what is it that you can do then?
I can create magic items and potions such as alchemy and create wards, and if I know, and she kind of like scrunches her eyes a little bit, the name of something, I can command many things.
Oh, interesting. You're like regular William Defoe with namiology.
I suppose.
Dale got that one. Because I'm an expert in namiology. Interesting. So, what is it you're able to make?
Mostly wards. However, I did just come across a very neat amulet that you can walk among the clouds. It cuts your travel a lot, let's say.
So, are we talking like actual flight, or are we talking what, some sort of like teleportation, or?
Yes.
Well, those were two different modes of transportation. One of
It
which
is-
I could be spotted by plane, another I would just appear.
It would be more you could be spotted by a plane, but there is lore saying that depending on how quickly you think, it depends on how quickly you get to your location.
Interesting. Sort of a speed of thought sort of thing. Well, since we're
Therefore, why I said both.
So why don't we put that on the table? And why don't you come up with 2 more vials of Kindred Vitae, and I will provide you the means of which you could create your own hex rounds.
It requires the vampire blood. That makes sense.
What requires vampire blood?
You said the hex things, or is that as in payment?
That's in payment.
Okay.
2 vials of vampire vitae and your little travel package for the hex rounds, or how to make them, anyways.
Char thinks for a moment. More is just like good business tactic, and then agrees.
Okay.
All right.
So he extends his hand then, and he says, well, I must say this was a rather unusual meeting, but I do look forward to seeing what this might produce. And tell Petra that I'm slightly less irritated.
I will, and likewise, it is nice to meet a fellow magic device creator.
Well, thank you. So he turns the thing, and you see the Gaussian blur kind of stop.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. So he turns it again real quick.
I have a question. I have been in the means of making a amulet that basically does what your glasses do. Any advice?
Well, I can't exactly speak for your particular type of magic. So what is your holdup?
Well, I've never created something before. I have the vitae of someone who has the ability to create aspects. But the combining of those elements into a physical object is something I have not done with vampire blood before.
Oh, that's where the runics come into play. You need to find some certain spots. Usually, if you're doing glasses, you can do it somewhere here along the sides, and then once you've carved whatever word of power or engraving you need, you embed the blood in that.
I see. Thank you. It really was a pleasure, Dylan. And she'll give her hand.
Okay. So he shakes her hand again.
She'll also give him her card.
Oh, okay.
If you ever need of a place to stay in our place, call me up.
Well, if I happen to find myself outside of town, perhaps I may.
It was a pleasure. And thank you. I will take my leave.
Okay. So he twists it again, and Gaussian blur fades from view at that point, and then you go ahead and exit. So I'll get to you guys in a second. So, Cade, you are at the plantation. You are at the Airbnb. Are you picking peaches?
Actually,
or what are you doing specifically?
Peach season's over.
Yeah, it's trading season. I'm probably working with Nigel, trading him in sword play. I have decided that I want to bring him up to speed as much as I can, and just show him my show him what he will most likely need in the future.
Okay, so
Mhm.
kind of doing your thing.
Yeah, and showing him also how to make, or at least like the beginning of making the various accoutrements and other items that a knight needs in the slaying of evil.
Okay. Give me a wits and awareness check.
Okay,
Difficulty 8.
wits and awareness. Okay. That is a failure. No successes.
Okay. So, okay, well,
Should I get my next character rolled up?
probably.
Okay.
Really? Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
Strong
He-
Bad is here.
Yeah,
What-
he
yeah, I know
he got hit
exactly.
by lightning.
Strong bag.
Yeah.
He got
He was
thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he was
thunderstruck.
thunderstruck. So, Cade, are you going to call odd or even? It's 50-50 here.
Even.
Okay. Oof. So you are doing it to it with Nigel. Teaching him about sword play. Or at least helping him better at it anyways.
Mhm.
So right as you guys paused, you were like teaching him like block, thrust, block, giving him some kata essentially to walk through, and as you stop and he goes to like wipe his forehead, there is a very, very brief sound of and then you're wearing his head. And then his body is hits the ground. Which like it, so I mean you're stunned now. You're very stunned in character. Give me a willpower check.
Okay. Let's see. We regain willpower by day, right? Like a point a day?
Yeah, you'd be at full at this point.
Okay. All right. So do I roll my total unspent willpower?
Yeah,
or
just total unspent willpower.
Okay. So in that case,
Just need one success.
Okay. Difficulty 6.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a failure.
Oh.
Got
Okay,
2
so
ones.
you are stunned from what you saw. You're just like it. That was completely like you were not expecting. You're still like frozen there, thinking like your mind is trying to comprehend like what exactly just happened. Okay. Okay, so I mean, you're still cognizant in a sense. You can hear, and you at some point like hear some light footsteps approaching, and because unfortunately you're stunned and you can't really dodge, you hear like this frying sizzle of a sound, and then you're struck by a bolt of lightning. Thunderstruck. And connected with you can't absorb right now. You don't have anything that lets you absorb aggravated damage, do you?
Let's see.
He just happened to be wearing a full suit of tactical armor at that.
I know,
very
right? Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, a full suit of rubber and wood armor.
He's
know,
the one
exactly.
that got the delivery.
Let's see.
But speaking of which, you guys have not rolled for that. We'll roll for that in a second.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Not that would help here, but
Yeah, I think. God,
That
where did
means the hunters must have found us. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything
Okay.
that because I think I did have something, but I think I activated it. It was like my it was one of my abilities.
like
I
a
think.
steel, like it was a steel form or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to double check it because I know you guys can make stuff. So sometimes you like maybe it's a medallion of protection or something. I just want to make sure you didn't already have something like that set up. Okay, so
Yeah, no, that's not complete yet. I was gonna roll for it after the days were done.
Oopsie. Okay, so
We need
Okay.
a crafting group.
I know there's a build day, as
Team
Cosmo
craft.
also put it. Yeah.
Team sword.
So
team
you
craft.
get struck. The lightning hits you so hard you're literally knocked right out of your shoes, just or boots, whatever you wear, and sent flying into the peach grove for 4 points of aggravated damage. That, of course, cleared your mind.
Okay. And there's let's see. Yeah, I don't roll for stamina or anything like that.
No, that's
Yeah.
with aggravated. No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
That's why you need like magic or other stuff to help protect it. That's why vampires can't absorb that either unless they have fortitude.
Well, they're probably also not like expecting people to just attack them as they're just hanging out during the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You're down. So Nigel is gone. You've got blasted.
Mm-hmm.
So your sword isn't even on you at this point. It got thrown away a little bit. Are you going to attempt to fake being dead? Or are you going to retaliate?
I don't know how I would retaliate at all. I don't have.
He bravely ran away.
Brave Sir Robin.
Oh, if only the unlucky person was here.
I know, right? Like the lightning bolt just veers away from Cade.
Yeah, right into Shar. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, you brought this badness upon me. Let's.
Fine.
Yeah.
You're no longer allowed to live at my home.
Well, don't worry. I'll be dead in a moment.
Well, that's why I'm asking. If you try to feign death, you kind of gambling on the fact that maybe the hunters don't know everything about you.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'll feign death for a moment.
Okay.
And then
Why don't you give me a stamina and performance check?
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, no performance. Difficulty 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to spend a willpower?
Yeah, I guess so. I do have a 4 in this, so hopefully my dice will be rolling better.
Oh well, if you have a 4, it will explode.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll put in an appropriate. 2 successes.
Okay.
With an appropriate specialty.
What was your specialty?
Oh, totally not Char's fault.
Okay.
It's not my fault. See?
Yeah.
Not my fault.
So I guess 3 successes with the
So
with
all
the
of
willpower.
a sudden, the game turns into the Millennium Falcon. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Okay, so you lay as still as you can, just trying to make it look like that you are dead. And of course, this happened out in the open, which is scary that this was so brazen. And during the day, you end up hearing. Now give me a perception and alertness check as you are doing your best to listen in.
Okay. Yeah, with my ears ringing and blood dripping from my nose. I botched it.
Okay. So unfortunately, your ears are probably ringing from that shot.
Mm-hmm.
You're just doing what you can in survival mode at this point. You faintly hear some noises around you. They're low, so whoever this is doing their best to obviously bring out the artillery, but still keep it quiet, and sneaky. So you hear what you think is maybe a door opening quickly, and then eventually you stop. You just don't hear anything. How long do you wait?
I'm going to, if I haven't heard any steps in a while, then I'm going to, all right, I'm going to cast, inviting the stone in, which is what changes my durability to, or my stamina to 5. Is that the best one, or? Yeah, I think that's probably the best one I have right here. Increasing my stamina to 5, and I'm going to go looking for my sword, so I can bring the pain to whoever did this.
Okay, so go ahead and cast.
Okay.
So that would be intelligence and occult.
Okay. Which I have.
Keep in mind you have some dice penalties, unfortunately, because of the damage.
Oh, the damage.
I think you're at -2.
Yeah, I'm 2 down.
Pens will still technically explode, though, if you have any.
Okay. Yeah, I've got.
Do you have any potions from Shar?
I would have to check my notes to see if I was given one. I think I probably didn't take one because I can't heal myself.
You might want to do that first if you can. That way, then you don't have the dice penalties for other things.
That's what I was. Yep.
How much of this stuff can I do in one turn, Jerome?
Well, just the one magic. If you're going to cast a spell, you can only do the one.
Okay. Well, in that
So
case,
if you're going to drink a potion, you can do that. You'd be down 1 die at that point to cast a spell, but then you couldn't do any spell actions afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think I have a potion though, so I'm gonna have to roll to heal myself, which is where are you? Mend flesh.
Okay, so same thing. Intelligence and occult -2 die.
Okay, at least the difficulty on that one is only 5. Okay, intelligence and occult. Okay, so that's 7 minus 2, so 5, and 5, and then
Oh, poor Nigel.
3 successes.
Okay, perfect. So you take a moment to heal yourself.
Right. Is that 3 levels of healing that I get back?
What does it say in the particular spell?
Let's see. Is able to heal aggravated and normal wounds. Number of successes rolled determines the number of health levels. Okay, yeah.
There you go. So 3. So 3 of the 4, you are almost completely healed.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna.
You are at bruised.
Yeah, and I'm going to. Go back, or I'm gonna try to stealthily pull myself up and go looking for my sword.
Okay. Dex and stealth.
Okay, Dex and stealth. My stealth's not bad, but now I'm just down 1 dice.
No, you're not down any die. Bruised, there are no health.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
okay,
bruised, you're still fine.
Okay.
Anything beyond that, you're minus a die.
Okay, difficulty 6. 4 successes.
Okay. So you are pretty reasonably quiet. You managed to get your sword and whatnot, and as you're looking around, you don't see anything. You see one of the homes here, or one of the Airbnbs. Like the door is kind of swinging open. But beyond that, it doesn't look like there's anything else, with the exception of poor Nigel. Why don't you give me a perception and investigations check?
Okay, perception and investigation. Like when you said I'm wearing Nigel's head, was he beheaded?
No.
Oh, so
No, the matter was all over you.
Oh, okay. So he was splattered.
You were decorated by Nigel.
Oh, okay. When you said I was wearing his head, I was like, on my head? Like I wasn't sure how that was working. Okay. Okay, and I do have a good investigation, so terrible dice rolls. Failure.
Okay. So you're not making heads or tails as to what exactly happened or why they went in that particular house or whatnot. And you end up seeing Ammon come running out. He's got a pistol in his hand, looking around and trying to figure out like what happened. And he's looking at you, and of course, you look far worse than you really are at this point. Although you got some, massive burn marks in your clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Cade, what the hell happened?
I have no idea. Somebody killed my apprentice and sent me flying with a bolt of lightning. I did not get a good look, but they went into that building. Shall we exterminate them?
They're still in there? He's kind of like looking around, and he's got his gun trained on the building at this point.
I did not see them. I did not see them leave. I apologize. I'm a little out of sorts. I'm going to see. I'm going to.
Okay, then you just hang
We
back.
need to call Daxus too.
I can't. I have to do something. I should be fine. I'm just going to center myself, and then I'm going to cast my, or I'm going to attempt to cast my, my ability to give myself the metal skin.
Go ahead. So then, as you are, Abby, finishing up there, you end up getting a 911 text from Ammon.
So I'm out of the meeting with.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, like right as you guys are walking out, or you're walking out at this point and getting in the car.
Okay, I immediately call him. What's going on?
Okay, so I mean, he picks up. Well, actually, he doesn't pick up at that point because he's busy with something.
Where were you when I needed you? 8 successes.
Okay, yeah. So all of a sudden, you're Colossus.
Yeah.
Shar, since she doesn't get Amon, will call Daxus. Who's the security guard?
Okay,
dude.
So Daxus, you called. So Daxus says, "Ma'am, I don't know what's going on. I just got the 911, and I'm heading back to the plantation right now."
Good. That's all I needed to know. Keep me updated. And she hangs up.
Will do.
8 successes, ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to look at Ammon and kind of give him essentially like a I don't know what you're capable of, but stay behind me, perhaps.
Well, he's already, because you were focused on casting your spell and hanging back. He already moved up to the door, and it's on one side of it with his pistol and kind of peeking in.
Okay, then yeah, I'm going to launch up with the sword. I'm not going to ignite it just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, just to maintain some stealth still, and going to See, can I kind of listen at the opening and kind of see? Is this one of the? This is not the main house.
No.
No. Okay. And I've never been in this house before, or do I know who normally stays at this house of the
Had
plantation?
you made the roll, yes, you would have known.
Oh, okay. Well then, yes. I don't know who's in there.
Would you like to roll again?
Sure. Now that I have a
Perception investigation.
Okay. Yes, now that my brain is working. I was electrocuted.
Well, it was all that matter that got added to it. It's helping to process quicker.
Yeah. And the difficulty 6.
Yes.
Okay, perception and investigation, difficulty 6. Okay, Columbo didn't work for me, so let's try Sherlock. Oh, Sherlock fails too. I don't know.
You just need to stick with Marvel characters.
I'm running out of detectives. But yeah, I don't know. I am going to sneak my way inside.
Okay. So he takes his foot and taps the door open a little bit, and like right as you go walking in, he points around and he says, and when you look in there, the room has been ransacked. And so Ammon's like, why is Sly's room ransacked?
This is Sly's room?
Well, yeah, the bungalow that he's staying at.
But there's no sign of any intruder.
No one's in here.
Did I pass out?
He says, I don't. I mean, we've got cameras. I can go back and take a look.
Yeah, Yeah, let's see if we can perhaps determine how they made their egress. See if there's anything else that I don't know. But I apologize, sir. I'm not used to having the drop got on me before. Probably gonna.
We're gonna have to look at it for security matters. Obviously, we're gonna have to do something, but I'm gonna need to get with my boss and figure that out. But in the meantime, hold on a second. And he runs in real quick to go get a blanket, and he puts it over Nigel's remains. He says, let's go check the security cameras, see what the heck was going on.
Before I join Eamon, I'm going to just say like a silent prayer for Nigel.
Sure.
Hope that his spirit finds rest, and that I swear to him I will stop whoever did this. Then I'll take off with Eamon.
By the sons of Horban.
You shall be avenged.
I think your next role you should use Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, because Columbo and Sherlock have not done me any good.
So as you run back to the main building,
Matlock.
the plantation, Perry Mason, Monk. As you go back to the plantation building, you end up and go to where they've got the security set up. It's a couple people in what appear to be like just black tactical gear with the mask over. Lightning bolt comes from off camera and hits you. So it looks like they were using the tree line for snipers. Two guys end up going into Sly's bungalow, getting past the door pretty quick. They actually came up to it and didn't even bother picking it. They just took a crowbar, did a quick pry, and popped that thing open real quickly. And then they come running back out with something under what appears to be a towel.
Does it look to be cup shaped?
Hard to say.
Okay.
It's obscured by the towel.
Do I have my phone on me?
Yes.
Is it working after being electrocuted?
Presumably, yes.
Okay, I'm going to give Sly a call.
Okay. So, Sly, as you guys are just pulling out of the parking lot, you get a call.
Shar would have probably said there was something going on at the plantation.
Cade, what's going on?
We are. The plantation has been attacked. Nigel's been killed, unfortunately. I was sniped by some wizard sniper with lightning bolt. Unfortunately, Sly, your bungalow on the plantation has been ransacked. We're checking the footage, and we saw whoever these were. There were men in black tactical gear. They crowbarred your door open and stole something and left in a hurry. But we're not sure where they went. And, but they do seem to have been gone.
Are you all right?
Physically, I will be fine. But you all should probably get back here as soon as possible. But whatever you were keeping if you were keeping anything important inside your home, you may need to come back here and see and make sure that it wasn't what they took.
Right. We're on our way back. We'll be quick. Be careful. Protect yourself. We'll be there soon.
Drive safely.
Ends the call. And as he's driving, he is now speeding. He wasn't speeding before, but now he's speeding to kind of increase speed to get there faster. And he has a pissed look on his face as he's looking out the front window.
Does he tell us what happened?
And so he's right after that, he's like, the bungalow was attacked, the B&B. Nigel's been killed.
What?
Oh no.
I think you understand who
swears.
did it. We're going there quickly. It seems that Charles is all right. He was attacked, but he's alive. We're doing okay.
And they attacked your bungalow?
Do you think
Mine
they were?
specifically?
Do you think
Did
they were
they-
after?
Yes. It seems they probably took it.
Uh-oh.
We need to find out who they are and go kill them.
Just
I thought
stupid
Shar
of
had that in
me.
her safe, but
The card was
Oh,
not
well,
for,
good.
for Charlotte. It was for you. I should have known because the man handed it to you.
So give me a Dex and Drive check, Sly.
Yeah.
As Sly is channeling his inner speed racer to get back quickly.
Let's see. Difficulty
Difficulty 7.
1 success.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
So you're driving and weaving in and out of traffic as best you can. You have a couple close calls. One of which was because somebody brake checked, because you were coming up real close on them. But you managed to pull out and around and like almost clip your driver's side mirror to their passenger side mirror. But you keep on driving by, and as you go flying down the highway, you see something flitting towards the car, and it slaps against the windshield. And it's another one of her damn cards that was littered all over the highway. And this one's the Chariot.
Nice.
So it's like, Chariot. Does that mean anything special, Cass?
As Sly turns on the windshield wipers.
As it flies away.
You're muted, Cass.
I think she's figuring out
She's
what
also
the
looking it
card
up.
does. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, because I knew all these at one time, but I don't anymore because I don't do tarot cards anymore. Yes, it is another major arcana card. and it symbolizes a kind of like overcoming obstacles through determination, self-control. It also, it symbolizes a victory. Um, it it also represents the time to take action with confidence and clear direction, harnessing your inner strength to navigate to achieve success. So this is a good card. The other one not so good. This card good.
All right.
Okay, so you are accelerating, getting back. It is evening time at this point. By the time you guys are getting back, 'cause it's 2 hours there, and it's about an hour and a half by the time you get back, because you're really flying.
Right.
So Joe, as you wake up for the evening, you already have a message.
You made it.
Pick up Sly's car.
Sorry, didn't realize I was muted. Okay, who's it from?
It's from Joss.
Okay.
And her message says, hey, so you've been busy the past couple of days. I don't like that. So you're taking me out to a new club. So call me back. Let's do this tonight. Even if it's just for like 2 hours.
Cool. So I'm not going to respond yet.
Okay.
I will send a text saying, "Hey, got your voicemail." Not sure what's going on tonight. I'll let you know, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Outside of that, I mean, she's getting up. She's basically kind of doing her normal work, as far as that's concerned. Nobody's contacted her about doing anything else, so
right.
At this point, she's just doing her normal job.
Okay. Alrighty. So the rest of you managed to drive into town as quickly as possible and get to the plantation, the Airbnb. Daxis, of course, is here. They've got the place like on lockdown. They've got extra security lights on right now to monitor the grounds, keeping an eye on everything while the rest of you show up.
Okay.
Are there any police here?
No.
Okay.
All right. Shar will just storm out of the car and go right to Daxis and ask for a progress report.
Okay. I mean, he tells you they don't have much. They've managed to clean up Nigel's body and get him off the grounds. They wanted to wait to see what you wanted to do. Other than that, they've reviewed the footage, a couple times, and everything's still the same.
Where's Cade?
Cade's there. I don't know where Cade would be specifically, but Cade is there.
Okay.
He's probably just kind of musing over Nigel's remains.
Okay.
Cade, are you all right?
Well, my pride is hurt more than anything, but unfortunately, I've failed my own charge here.
I rather liked the kid as well.
He's a good man. He had a lot of potential.
I am so sorry that this happened on my lands.
Sly at this point he'd actually ignore people and go directly into his bungalow to see if the item is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. Yeah. Okay. So he storms back out and looks now. At this point, now he's looking for like Char and or Cade. So
So
presumably,
they're
They're
probably
together.
yeah they're probably near the back porch of the
Okay.
main plantation building.
so he goes up to them. It was taken.
That's terrible. I wish we'd have kept it in my safe.
Yes.
However, the one bright side we have is that because it was at a side house and not the main one, is that no other person was hurt. If it had been at the main house, they could have possibly hurt some other visitors that had been staying in the main home.
Yes.
How did they manage to get the drop on you?
Nigel and I were doing drills. We were working on his swordsmanship. It was just regular exercise, and then suddenly they disintegrated him. I was so stunned by it all that I didn't even notice when I was flung into a tree by a lightning bolt. I suppose they thought I was a normal person because they didn't bother to finish me off, but I tried to regain myself, and by the time I had grabbed my sword and united with Eamon to go and to put them to the sword, they had already fled.
We need to be more careful in our messages. I am absolutely livid that they came here.
Did they leave anything behind that you know of?
As far as I could tell, no. I've not been inside your room. I'm not sure if there's anything out of the ordinary.
Where is Cassandra at this point? Where is she? Is she nearby? Where?
I have
Sly can
no
turn
idea
and-
where Charles and Cassandra are currently.
I would
Other
imagine.
than they're there.
Yeah.
Cassandra she would be close by. I mean, she wouldn't be too far away from Sly.
Okay, then Sly would be like, Cass, we need you.
What is it that you require?
Head into my bungalow and see if you can pick up on anything that gives us information on where they came from. As long as we know where they're coming from, we can just go there and do to them what they did to us.
Can Charles quietly slip in and take a look around?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay. I will need some time for preparation.
That's fine. When you're about to do it, let me know, and I'll assist.
Could you take me back to my shop, please, first?
Right. And then he goes over to Cade and he puts a hand on his shoulder and says, I'm sorry. This is my fault. I'm going to need to talk to you, Charles, and Cassandra alone later when we return to tell you something, give you some information. We'll be back soon. And let's go and nuts to Cassandra to follow him, and they go to the car to go.
Okay, so Charles, you're gonna poke
Yep.
around. Why don't you give me a perception and investigations check? And is anybody gonna notify Joe or?
After I do poking around, if nobody else does.
Okay.
And I'll spend a willpower on this. Four successes.
Okay.
Did they leave anything at all?
So you obviously see signs that somebody took like something to wedge to the door and popped it, straight off.
Mhm.
So looking at what happened, they clearly knew what was here, or they had some understanding of what was here, and they came prepared.
Okay.
But as you're looking around, the place is, the whole place has been tossed. So
Okay.
they were clearly looking for something. But your first guess is that as you're looking at it, your first guess is, okay, well, if they came that heavy and popped Cade and his squire, the target wasn't what was in here. This looks like
Huh.
they may have been looking for clues.
Interesting. Okay. Um, after he's gone through the building, he's gonna send a quick text to Joe. Hey, Joe, had some crazy stuff come up. I don't know if you want to meet at the plantation. Um, call me back. And just send Joe that message.
I mean, Joe's probably on a job or something.
Sure, yeah, you're working on a car at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Joe. Something happened with Nigel, and something happened with Sly. I can't really talk about it over the phone if you catch my drift.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, she knows.
So,
um. So she'll respond. I'm so sorry about Nigel. Hope everything's okay. Uh, do you need me for anything specific?
um, I'm not sure. Just, I guess stay, stay in touch. I guess
Yeah.
things are getting crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
go
I
back
don't.
to working on my car.
Yeah, I don't want to pull you away from work.
Oh,
Because that's money.
because what else am I gonna do?
Right. Yeah. He is gonna give a quick text to Sly though, and let him in on that train of thought that he had.
Okay.
That's like this wasn't. They came in heavy, but I don't think whatever they took was what they were looking for. They were looking for like clues or something to that effect. Like they weren't after you specifically, or maybe they were.
Sly responds, I understand. Uh, we'll be meeting with others soon. You, me, and two more. Uh, be ready for a meeting. He says,
Okay. Yeah, and then he'll text Joe back. Okay, hey, Sly's calling in a meeting here in a little bit. Keep you updated.
Okay, so she'll finish up whatever job she's doing currently to find a good stopping point, and yeah. So
Charlotte at some point goes up to Cade and asks, I know it's really soon, but what would you like done with Nigel's body? Should we call the police so that we can get this formally done, or something less formal?
Uh, Jerome, I probably need to have his remains like sent back to the order. Probably that would be the way of doing things. Or what would be the
No.
normal?
Yeah,
No?
no, nothing like that, because
No.
they would have their own version of kind of like the masquerade or whatnot. And that would be
Mhm.
kind of impossible to do.
Okay.
So, if nothing else, either cover it up or send it to his family. which would be, a potential issue too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our options at this point are either to cover it up or report it and send in word to his family.
I don't see an issue with getting the police involved necessarily.
I mean, how old is Nigel?
He's in his 20s, right, Jerome?
I mean, is he like
Yeah,
old
mid-20s.
like you, or appears to be 20s?
No, he's still mortal. He was not quite a knight yet.
Okay, that still doesn't answer my question. Is he as old as you, or
No,
no? Okay.
no, he's
He
a
was-
normal person.
He was more in training. He's not supernatural.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So I think I'm going to call the police and get this done formally then.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Is it a good idea to have the police come snooping around the place with so many special people wandering about?
Especially
Well,
what Cass is going to do. That will be funny.
if you have another idea,
Do you have
please,
a better
please
idea?
present it, because this is all we have.
Get the things out of your rooms that would give away your
Guiltiness.
specialness. And thankfully, it happened out here at the bungalows. And we'll give them the security footage and they can figure out what happened.
Is there security footage of me being blasted with a lightning bolt?
Yes.
Not that one.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a choice.
Yeah. If we're going to be reporting it to the police, they are going to want to know. Unless,
Yeah, they're gonna look at any surveillance footage that's available for that period of time.
Of course, of course, I am going to look quite blurry in it, which is at least somewhat of a blessing. However,
You're going to look like a blurry figure that got hit by lightning and then got back up.
Totally normal.
Yeah, totally normal.
A freak accident. People have lived through being shot with lightning before.
They have, just not blown like that.
No. Any suggestions? Could accidentally delete the footage and they can just investigate here.
So I mean, Joe is off doing cars right now. I mean, Joe would probably have might have some connections to help with that, but you guys really haven't looped her in for that.
Nope.
Charlotte, you do have a contact that would probably like to know this type of information.
yeah, I
mean-
think
Tom?
No.
I had one NPC, and now he's dead.
Petra?
No.
Tom?
No again.
Name names until you get one right.
Well, I have Amon and Daxus here.
Right.
What
You're
about
not-
Tom?
Who are you supposed to give FaceTime to?
FaceTime.
That sounds kind of personal.
Wow, someone hasn't been looking at their notes.
Yeah, I think Kate is too stunned by all this right now. He's still processing it. Yeah.
Well, all the smoke is coming
Well,
off
he
of
lost a
Abby's head
faithful
right
servant.
now.
I would say Joe. Joe.
I
Well,
I think
reread.
it's Tom. I think it's Tom.
Charles would say that Joe is probably on her way here.
No, I
Mm-mm.
reread the notes. I don't know.
Um, I think you guys should just bury the body. I think that's going to be Charles's. Like, you guys should just let it.
Yes, Cass could do a virtual
I would prefer to.
You'd probably have to use a dead drop to contact that person.
Are we sure it's not Tom?
I mean,
I'm
she
pretty
could
sure it's
contact
Tom.
She
Tom,
clearly
but
doesn't know, Jerome. Throw
Yeah.
her a bone.
I've been throwing her a bone. Several.
Not enough. Damn.
Throw her skeleton.
You need to
Perfect
throw her a bone with a little bit
skeleton,
of, bit of
off
meat
screen,
on
I
it.
throw the ragged remains of Skeletor.
Please.
Yeah.
She doesn't know.
Oh, hey, I haven't done a Skeletor
I don't
laugh in
know
a
who I was
while.
supposed to give FaceTime to.
Is it,
I know, because you didn't write it down. It was suggested.
You need to give her a bone with some meat on it.
Davy Jones. Davy plays the Skeletor laugh.
I haven't done that in a while.
Do you remember when you met somebody on the docks? And you forgot that one too?
Apparently.
There's a lot of
I'm
freaking
sorry.
notes, Jerome.
Wow.
Jeez.
Charlotte likes to work by the dock. Sorry.
Honestly, I
Union
don't
man
even
on
remember
strike.
ever going to the docks. I'm so sorry.
Okay, then let's take this all the way back. Who were you supposed to be working with Petra?
The vampires.
Oh,
Tom.
Lillian. Oh.
Is it coming back to you now? You had that scene
Yep.
where you met her at the docks and she told you
Yes,
how to
and-
contact her and
Yes.
update your notes. or you make some reminders or something on your character sheet.
Well, I have Lillian in my character sheet. I'm sorry, I just did not associate with her with docks. More of the boat, I guess. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I go to I have to go to the docks to leave her a message, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I go and do that.
Okay, so you're going to do that. Sly and Cassandra, what are you guys doing?
Cassandra is going to go into her shop. Sly would hear some clucking and fussing. Back. She will come back out with a small cage with a chicken in it. She will grab a bag with some herb-like things in it, and she will tell him she's ready.
Right. You just matter of factly make sure she's got her stuff in the car, and they're heading back to the B&B
Okay.
With the chickens.
with the chickens.
So eventually you head back. Charlotte, you drive over and leave a message, at the yacht, or in the yacht. That's
Thank you.
being
Yeah.
used as a drop point. And then presumably head back to the your plantation.
Mhm.
So what is everybody doing now, meeting wise?
So once we get back to the plantation, Cass and Sly would head over to his bungalow that was ransacked so that she can do her thing, see what information she can get. And Sly is going to see if he can boost that with his exalt as well.
By giving her a pep talk?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so Cassandra, she's actually going to need Sly for this. So she will wait for him to be in. Once he is, she will take him into the bungalow. She will close the door, She will hand him the chicken, and the herb like substance that he saw her get was Jimson weed.
Okay.
So she is going to put that in a dish, and she is going to light it, and let that smoke fill the, the bungalow.
Okay.
She is then going to take the bones. She's going to toss them on the ground, and then she is going to have Sly slit the the neck of the chicken and pour the blood over the bones before she goes into her trance.
Okay. And you were doing
And
what
the
again?
gypsum weed will help her with the trance.
And you're doing what specifically, power wise?
Um, he asked her to
Are you trying to divine again?
yeah.
Okay.
Um, Dale, tell her she needs to know exactly what. So I need to tell her exactly what he wants.
We need to know where those jerks came from. We just need a location, honestly. I know why they came here. And it wasn't for the object. We just need to know where they are, if you can find that out.
All right. So it knocks because I'm using the gypsum weed. It will knock my difficulty down to a 5. I do believe that's what the book said.
Where's that at?
It would be under divination in the sorcery book. I'm bringing that up because I think it knocks it down to a. I know it knocks the difficulty down. She's not using she's gonna stay off of the acid.
Good.
Just one tab. Just one tab.
No tabs.
No, she's gonna stay with cannabis, peyote, and gypsum
Oh boy.
seed.
Yeah, just licking frogs, the usual.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Mhm.
anything in here that says that. The system
hold
only
on.
the system only says that you get a -1 difficulty when you're under the influence of
Okay, that's what
mind-altering
it is. That's
substances.
what it was.
So it's
That's
only
what it was.
so it's only one.
One. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's only one. Okay. So normally it would be an 8, so it would be difficulty 7, correct?
If you're trying to find them specifically, it's going to be difficulty 8. So -1, difficulty 7.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And as she's doing that, he follows her instructions, cuts the chicken's neck, pours the blood, and says, you can do this. This is for Nigel. And he'll use his exalt. And that's going to be 6 additional successes. So you've got 6 additional dice to roll.
Oh,
Wow.
nice. Okay,
Holy
so
moly.
I am going to use a willpower because since we got our
Really?
willpower all back.
Really?
Mhm.
You've
I
got
am, I'm
6
making
additional
sure.
dice, and you're trying
I
to
know,
spend
but
additional.
you know.
Have you not seen? Have you not seen how the dice have been rolling, Jerome?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yes.
I would do. Yeah, I would do a willpower. Yeah.
Yeah, can we spend karma
Mine.
too?
Yes.
Bleed through realities.
Yeah.
I want to also spend some look points and character points.
And a force point. And
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And have a get out of jail free card, and
You get a hero point if for Pathfinder.
oh,
Yep.
there you go.
She pulls out the community chest card from Monopoly.
Sweet.
Or the draw 25 from Uno.
Oh,
oh man, I haven't played Uno in forever.
Ooh, 8 successes.
Okay. So you are attempting to divine specifically where these beans are at. It is actively blurry. You do pick up the faint image of a church. You're not entirely sure how it relates, like if they're there or they go there or whatever. But there clearly is some sort of church. It's blurry, but you may be able to, like, if you go and visit like a bunch of different ones, if you write it down, you may at least get the shape right. Because you're not seeing any like actual signs that lead to it, but you do see that one of them has a particularly big steeple. Then you end up seeing the vision of the Chi-Ro again,
Okay.
which is that P and X symbol.
Mm.
And as you are focusing, again, it's because you're in an enlightened state. You are, some of these visions are coming to you as your spirit is walking amongst the peach trees, which are all, singing kind of in unison with the presidents of the United States. In some sort of kind of weird kind of anime trippy. It's not like terrible like what you saw before, but it's a little unnerving to have peach trees singing millions of peaches for free. I'm going to the country, and they're all singing in unison. So I'm going to eat me a lot of peaches. And then of course you would turn and look, and you see the vague image of of the church and the symbol and whatnot. And then as you end up seeing, and as you walk further, you end up seeing another church. This one's smaller looking, and doesn't have quite a big steeple. And the one defining thing that you can tell from it is that it sits at the a corner where two streets meet. And you think you hear and you're not sure where it unifies to either of them, but you think you hear water. And not water as in like dripping, but water is like a shoreline, like it occasionally laps up and kind of rolls back out, sort of thing. And then and as you're walking along, through your thing, you end up the peaches you end up saying in unison, you hear them go, "Uh-oh." And they all start like looking around or like trying to look around, which is weird because it's almost like they're missing a neck. So like the stem and whatnot's like trying to turn and look off the side, but like they detected something. And you hear footsteps behind you. And you're muted.
Probably because I was typing. So, when she turns around when she hears the footsteps.
So when you turn around, you are standing before a woman who is easily 7 foot, and she's in all black clothing. Her long black hair against her pale skin is kind of dangling around her face, and she draws out her barbed whip. You hear her say, "There you are."
Okay. So what injury do I take?
Oh, nothing. You flee like a bunny from your vision. Like so much so, Sly, she like throws herself up against your dresser, and like looking around, like feeling for things that aren't really there.
So seeing that, he's gonna go over to her and like kind of grab her shoulder so she doesn't like hurt herself and be like, "Wake up! Snap out of it! You're back! You're right here."
You better slap her.
I mean, he's shaking her to just to see what's going on. If he needs to slap her, he'll slap her.
So I would think that she's probably in hysterics, because when she went into the trance, she would have been almost like a sing song in a language that you wouldn't understand.
Sure.
It would be more of a mix of Cajun and French. But so when she sees the woman with the barbed whip, yeah, she would be, and everybody outside would probably hear her screaming, and she would be in hysterics.
Shar would run in if she hears a scream.
And yeah, she would be have kind of like that wild look in her eyes when she's looking around, trying to focus and divide, put that divider in between the reality and
Right.
where she was. But yeah, I think you shaking her good enough. She'd probably blink and her eyes would become more focused. And I think she would just hug tightly to Sly, almost like, for protection. And she probably wouldn't say anything for a little bit until she settles down. So you're probably going to have to give her a few.
Okay.
Yeah, but she would be like death grip on Sly.
Okay. And then, like, if that's when, like, about when Shar burst into the room, he'd be turning to her and be like, "She must have seen something she didn't like in the vision. Give her a minute."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't get high when you're in there.
So while you guys are dealing with that at the I struggle with this word and I don't know why, but the plantation. I keep trying to call it like something else, and then I'm like, no, it's not right. No, it's not right.
I can do what I did for Shiv. I can write the word on a sticky note and put it on my forehead because he had such a hard time because he's used to V5. And
Oh.
he could not remember alertness. So when he was trying to do perception alertness, he was saying something else. So I stuck a sticky note on my forehead that said alertness just to help him out.
So Joe, as you are working on a car at this point, actually just finishing up, you end up hearing some conversation out in the front of the garage. It's not too hard to hear because it's nighttime. It's not like it's super busy out around that time. And
She's one of the fewer ones that works at night. So, yeah.
And then as you as you finish up, you see one of the guys who works there. There's only like two or three. There's only like three here, including yourself. One of the guys, comes walking back out, and he points to you. And he's like, "Yeah, she's like right over here."
I'm looking at him and who he is, like, kind of directing to her at that point.
Directing to who?
To me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Who is he pointing out?
Well, he's pointing out somebody that's out of your field of vision, and as you hear you hear heels against the ground, and
like high heels,
yes.
or okay.
And walking around the corner is a very tall woman, in all black, with her like long kind of black hair coming down, and she says, and she she looks at you, and second,
if she gives her a kind of look, Joe is going to return the look. As condescending as whatever it may be, she'll return the favor in that sense.
I hope it's the look that the necromancer did in the D&D movie, where it's just
like you're looking at me, I'm looking at you.
There we are. She says, Hello, Jordan Abernathy. I've been looking for you everywhere. And that's where we're going to pause for the evening.
I knew it.
Okay.
Shoot.
No cliffhangers.
What do you know? What do you know? Nobody knows anything about Joe.
Oh.
Well, now we know this is all your fault.
So
Not yet.
So let's go ahead and so Black Arts, who's been hanging out with us all night, gave you guys a Ric Flair woo. So styling and profiling.
Ooh.
I can't wait to sweet chin music those guys that killed Nigel.
he's all leg slapping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right, so
I even put in the chat. He killed Nigel.
we've got some RP votes to take up here. So starting with George, who's your RP vote going to?
Oh God. I think I'm gonna go with Abby. So I think like
Okay.
Charlotte and like her interaction with Dylan was really fun.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I saw romance. I saw hearts in there. I ship it.
All right. Dale.
Also, Abby, pretty much the same reason.
Oh, okay. Abby Dabby Doober.
Cade or George for his role play when Nigel was killed. And the sequences following.
Okay. Rachel.
To be honest, I'm going to abstain from this vote because I literally interacted with nobody this game.
It doesn't matter who you interacted with; it's just who you liked. Role play wise, you didn't have to interact with them.
I'm not going to vote. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Shelley.
Well, I had to do odd or even because it was between Abby or George, and so it was a 2. So George.
Okay. Davey.
I'm gonna go with Abby.
Okay, so Abby wins the RP vote. Go ahead and give yourself an extra. I believe that's what I'm awarding.
Yeah, that was a hard one to choose between the two of you because you both did such a good job.
So everybody in the chat, pour one out for our homie Nigel.
First,
He was taken from us too soon when he got Quake 3 railgunned.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Quick street rail.
Just burn. I was like, oh.
Headshot.
Yeah. Well, Black Arts, I hope you come back and see us in 2 weeks. We'll
Yeah.
be back here in 2 weeks.
So our game. So tomorrow we would normally have a game, but I have a memorial service to go to, so we're not having our Marvel Superheroes game. So then next week is Cyberpunk on March the 5th, which starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So feel free to tune into that. And then again, the week of the 12th of March is our Star Wars game, starting at the same time as 7 p.m. And then we play this game again on the 14th at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then Marvel Superheroes will be on the 15th on 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And where can you find the videos on demand? You can actually find them on YouTube. If you give me just 1 second, let me grab the link here for you. You can also follow us on Facebook, where I post all those links too. But all of our copies of all of our stuff get sent up on YouTube. So let me grab the link here real quick. And there we are, Lost Tribes Gaming. And then playlists. We have a playlist for all of our particular games here too. So come on, it's taking a bit to load. Here we go, Mythic Savannah. Oop. Let me grab that link and throw that out there for you. And it started playing, so you hear the music going. So stop that. Okay. There we go. That is the link. You can use that, and of course, all of our other games are up there as well. So if you want to check out Marvel superheroes, you want to look at our earlier edition of Vampire the Masquerade, which ran for like 5 years. Obviously, a ton of episodes there for that. We've got some other games that didn't quite last as long that are interesting too. This is our new World of Darkness game. So, but yes, all of them are there. You can check that out. But that link takes you directly to the playlist for Mythic Savannah, and you can just click on our YouTube name, and it will bring up all the others. So, thank you again, guys, for hanging out with us. Black Arts, thank you again for checking us out and the follow, and we will catch you all again next time. Good night, guys.
Night.